Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources opens Sultan Qaboos Mosque in Bukha. A new container station using remote control technology is launched in Sohar port. And major powers meet in Paris to revive peace process between Palestinians and Israelis as the Arab League condemns Netanyahu's statements. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency Ahmed bin Abdullah al-Shihi, Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources, today opened Sultan Qaboos Mosque in Bukha. It contains main prayer hall which can accommodate 1,088 worshippers, room for imams and preachers of the mosque. It also contains a prayer place for women with a capacity of 120 and a library for study classes in addition to maintenance and management offices. It has two 46 meters high minarets that highlight its beautiful decorations which blend between the modern and old architecture. The mosque, which was distinguished by its location, was established on a land with an area of 12,536 square meters with a building area of 3,836 square meters. The mosque is one of the landmarks of the Blessed Renaissance in the Wilaya during this glorious reign, as well as an addition to the development projects in the Wilaya and the Governorate. A new container station was launched in Sohar port in the Governorate of North Batina with the aim to keep up with the investment projects as well as economic and logistic activities and the future plan of the port. The new station works with the remote control technology for the cranes, which is considered one of the latest technologies used in global ports. The station was prepared to accommodate giant ships with around 18,000 containers, and the storage capacity of the station is around 1.5 million containers. The station will be accompanied by upcoming projects which will work on enhancing the quality level in addition to facilitate the movement of trucks around the port. The project will contribute in providing job opportunities for national cadres as well as increasing the Omanization percentage in Oman International Container Terminal Company to 68%. Public Authority for Electricity and Water calls the attention of its clients in the wilayas of Muscat and Matrah that the main pumping pipe feeding storage tank in the wilaya of Muscat had broken. It is expected that parts of the wilaya of Muscat will be affected except Al-Bustan and Qantab areas. Wilayas of Matrah, the Corniche area, Matrah Souq, Al-Mina district, Jibru, Al-Wushel, Tuyan Matrah, Zabadiya and Dar Said will also be affected. The specialized maintenance teams are exerting their efforts to repair the damage so as to ensure resupply of water. It is expected the maintenance work will take 48 hours. The authority called on its clients to rationalize water consumption. Works of ministerial meeting on reviving the Middle East peace process and relaunch of negotiation track between Palestinians and the Israelis started in the French capital, Paris. French President François Hollande said changes that swept the Middle East region meant that previous endeavors to prevail peace between Palestinians and Israelis became meaningless, and it is necessary that major powers should play an important role to resolve the crisis. He mentioned that talks conditions should put into consideration the entire Middle East region. Around 30 ministers from Arab and European countries are taking part in the meeting, besides members of the United Nations Security Council. The Arab League condemned statements by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in which he said that there is no return to the reality that prevailed in the city of Jerusalem in '67 and there is no need for Israel to apologize about its presence in Jerusalem. The Arab League affirmed in a statement that these remarks revealed the real stance of the government of the Israeli occupation towards the peace process. It mentioned that Netanyahu's previous statements on conducting direct negotiations with the Palestinians were maneuvers to fail the French peace initiative. The Arab League called on the international community, especially the United Nations and the International Quartet, to move to find a mechanism to revive negotiations based on international legitimacy decisions and Arab peace initiative within a specified time frame. Government airstrikes killed dozens of civilians in the Syrian city of Aleppo and nearby areas today, as the UN Security Council prepared to discuss emergency aid drops to besieged areas. The raids were the most intense in more than a week, with dozens of barrel bombs, crude, unguided explosive devices dropped on several rebel-held eastern districts of the city. 10 people were killed when a bus they were traveling in was hit on the Castello Road, a key rebel supply route out of Aleppo. 28 other civilians were killed in strikes on several neighborhoods in the rebel-held east of the city. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the Castello Road was now effectively cut. Libya's Navy spokesman said that more than 100 bodies of migrants have been retrieved from the Mediterranean after a smuggling boat capsized off Libya's shores. He said at least 104 bodies have been pulled out of the waters near the western city of Zawara, but that the expected death toll is likely to be higher, since such boats usually carry up to 125 people. He said the Libyan Coast Guards found the empty boat yesterday and that it's possible the boat capsized a day earlier. The discovery of the bodies of Zawara is the latest in a string of tragedies that have already claimed more than 1,000 lives during the past 10 days as desperate migrants embark on treacherous sea journeys seeking a better life in Europe. Still to come in our news bulletin. Directorate General for Fisheries Wealth in the Governorate of Dhofar held 2 awareness seminars about the reality of abalone fishery. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. German University Geotech celebrated the graduation of the first batch from the program of Duqm Training Initiative, which is implemented by Social Economic Zone Authority in Duqm in cooperation with German University. The program included a number of courses such as English language course, computer skills, work ethics, safety and security, social responsibility, in addition to sports program, psychological counseling and writing CV. The program targeted qualifying Omani youths to work in various companies at industrial area in Duqm and other jobs in both public and private sectors. The graduation program included a speech by Geotech president, a visual show and distribution of certificates for male and female graduates. Ministry of Health launched at the General Diwan of the Ministry a book entitled Forming Future of Health Leadership in the Sultanate of Oman. It took 3 years to finalize the work. It prepared a proposal of scientific research aimed at defining occupational leadership capabilities to select, train and assess directors of healthcare and to measure pitfalls at institutions of the Ministry of Health. The launch included a visual display and detailed explanation about the book, which consists of 17 chapters centered on efficient leadership reached by the scientific body. The launch was under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health. with the aim of acquainting diverse traders and those interested in safelih or abalone due to its abundant wealth and its management. The Directorate General of Fisheries Wealth in the Governorate of Dhofar held 2 awareness seminars on the reality of abalone fisheries catch areas in the wilayas of Marbat and Sadah. Both seminars focused on a number of aspects, namely highlighting the annual survey of abalone stock, judicial seizure, and follow-up procedures in violating the prevailing fishing law and management of abalone fishing. Celebrating the Sultanate's winning the first place globally in vaccines management, the Directorate General of Health Services in the Governorate of Dhofar held a ceremony in which a number of supervisors and those who work at health sector from various wilayas in the Governorate took part. This international achievement came through after applying plans and policies of the Ministry of Health in addition to the technical qualified cadres. At the end of the ceremony, the chief guest honored the participants. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and generally clear over the rest of the Sultanate, with chances of dust raising wind over the governorates of Dhahira and Wusta. Low clouds and fog late at night and early morning are expected along the coasts of the Arabian Sea. Winds will be northeasterly slight to moderate along the coastal areas of Sea of Oman. Rest of the Sultanate, it will be northwesterly light to moderate, occasionally active. Seas will be slight to moderate along the coastal areas of the Arabian Sea with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. Rest of the Sultanate, it will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources opened Sultan Qaboos Mosque in Bukha. A new container station using remote control technology is launched in Sohar Port. And major powers meet in Paris to revive peace process between Palestinians and Israelis as the Arab League condemns Netanyahu's statements. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.